these guys are the core that we consider the core going forward. We have some fresh-faced pitchers here who are getting opportunity to pitch at this level, and with an eye towards 2016. But yet there's still a lot of baseball to be played, and our bottom line is to go out and try to win every night, and that's what we're here to do. And these guys have that ability. They're just not proven at this level, and they're going to get the opportunity to prove themselves.
Marlins Park tonight. The Padres in town for this weekend series. The surging San Diego Padres. Now just 3 under. Marlins have seen a lot of the Padres over the last week and a half. And the Padres have taken 4 of 5 from the Fish. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Welcome to Miami. And that includes last night, Tommy. A thrilling ball game. A big home run to start from Christian Yelich. A dramatic home run to tie it from Derek Dietrich, but just too much from this hot Padre team.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the positives. Good to see a couple of young hitters, a couple of young left-handed hitters hit the ball as far as they did last night. Yelich on a nice roll, 4 for his last 9, hit a 444-foot home run, and Dietrich tied it with a blast into the second deck.
Of course, last night's game was played in the aftermath of the trade deadline. Marlins moved 2 starters from the rotation in the before the trade deadline. As a result, Jose Urena has been called back up from AAA, his second go-round in the big leagues, and he gets the start tonight.
Yeah, in case you forgot, we're going to refresh you a little bit, help your memory. I have to help my own, too, every now and then, on the arsenal of Jose Urena. He's got a live fastball. Good two-seamer, has some movement. His second pitch is a changeup. He likes to use that, especially against left-handed hitters. His third pitch, he'll use a breaking ball, a slider. You'll see the sharp break down and away to right-handers. So that's what you'll see tonight from Jose Urena.
When the Marlins were in San Diego, they saw a lot of the Padres and just about everybody in the Padres rotation, including Odrisamer Despaigne, and the Cuban gets the start against the Fish.
Yeah, we talked about Despaigne in San Diego. He had a 3-2 win. He beat the Marlins. That was a Matt Lato start. He's a guy who'll give you that high leg kick. He'll give you pitches from different angles. He pitched 8 years for the Industriales in Cuba, so he knows how to pitch. Should be a good matchup tonight.
His father, a great pitcher in Cuba, is in the house to watch him pitch tonight. Searching for Giancarlo. When will he return? The Fish trying to replace him with some power bats. Craig Minervini when we return. trying to get a win here in the series. Let's go out to center field. Craig Minervini. Craig?
Thank you, Rich. Jeff Conine on the field presenting the Heart and Hustle Award to D. Gordon, and he had a hustle to get down there, and he did. So I'll take it for a couple here. Talk a little home run power. Good to see last night. Marlins have hit only 79 home runs this year. As you know, 27 off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton. They've only given up 83, but who's going to replace G's power? Well, you can't replace it directly, but you can collectively chip in. Certainly Justin Bourne, a nice run in him in 4 straight games. That was nice. A little quiet now from the home run standpoint. We've seen Dietrich when given an opportunity, and we'll show you last night's in a moment. Number 6, Realmuto has shown some power. Also some doubles, line drives. Good to see. And Christian Yelich, with what one scout told me today, was the hardest and longest ball he's ever seen Yelich hit. He's watched him since the Marlins signed him. This was a shot to center field over the 418, way out of Marlins Park, gave him a 2-0 lead. And then who has done this against Craig Kimbrell? Not many. And watch where the pitch is as well. Not a bad pitch. It's high and inside. Probably a ball. And Dietrich turns on it with 2 outs in the 9th and clobbers it. And that was upwards of 95 plus into the upper deck for the tying home run. Unfortunately for Miami, is sloppy with 11, which, by the way, Dan Jennings told me today, I'll take it. A.J. Ramos pitching 2 innings. He'd rather have him only go 1. And it was a rough 11th, and the Marlins lost the first one. But 2 more to go against the Padres. And we're going to get right back at it, as they say in baseball, next night. It's coming up, Game 2. It's Odrisamer Despaigne pitching in a rematch against the Marlins, and Jose Urena will go for Miami his first time against San Diego. Coming up, Game 2 next.
By Toyota, Let's Go Places. By Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. By AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit us online at AutoNation.com. And by Vico Painting Contractors, a commercial painting company that delivers top quality work and excellent customer satisfaction. Find out more at VicoPainting.com. Jose Urena on his way out. The Marlins on this Saturday night trying to slow down the Padre Express. San Diego's won 6 of 7, 11 of 15, trying to get themselves closer in the wild card race. Jam Lexus brings you San Diego's lineup. Will Venable in center field. Yangervis Solarte. Tough to pronounce, sometimes tough to get out. Matt Kemp is in right field. Justin Upton hits cleanup. Yonder Alonso is back home in Miami. He's at first. Derek Norris behind the plate. Jed Jerko, big night last night. 3 hits, drove in 3. Alexi Amarista at short. And Odrisamer Despagne is the pitcher for the Padres. And here is Jose Urena back in the big leagues and down low with his first pitch, which was brought to you by Pinch A Penny.
Rich, the last time we saw Urena was on June 28th. That was against the Dodgers. He actually threw the ball well. It was a 2-0 loss, but he went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits and a run. His numbers as a Marlin you see there. Now he pitched on July 27th in Nashville. His last start, that was for AAA New Orleans.
Will Venable 3 hits last night. Strike outside corner. Venable didn't like it.
Padres have a couple of guys at the top of their order, Venable and Solarte, that have been getting on base.
Pitch 5 was way out. Doug Eddings calling balls and strikes. Don't mean to introduce him after that one. That one fouled back to the screen. You've got Adrian Johnson at first, Bill Miller at second, and Sean Barber, the umpire, at third. There is Solarte. Matt Kemp scheduled to hit here in the first as well. If anybody reaches, Justin Upton and Yonder Alonso. 2-2. Venable in the air to left. That's Dietrich trying to get comfortable out there in left field. 1 out. Miami's defense is brought to you by BMW.
Well, the defense has been solid. 5 games started for Dietrich in left field now. Yelich and Gillespie in the outfield. How about 37 consecutive games for Echeverria without an error? He has 4. D. Gordon's committed 4. They've been solid. Prado and McGee at the corners. Real Muto behind the plate.
Now Solarte, the perky third baseman of the Padres. Solarte, guy that split his time last year with the Yankees and the Padres. Lines it down the left field line, and it's just foul. Chase Headley, of course, had been at third base for a long time for the Padres. But in the trade that sent Headley to New York, Padres needed a third baseman back. And they got a guy that's been in the minor leagues for a long time until finally getting to the big leagues with the Yankees. And as you see, Pat Murphy as well working his way up through the minor leagues after a very distinguished career as a college coach. He was a minor league player before he dove into the college game.
Coached Craig Counsell at Notre Dame. There are many who feel, by the way, if he doesn't get the Padre job after this year, he's the interim manager, that he may go to Milwaukee and be one of Craig Counsell's coaches.
That one pulled foul. It's really an interesting. Major League Baseball is unlike any other sport in that a coach that coaches major college baseball doesn't get to manage in the big leagues. And you can't say that about
unlike college football,
college basketball, NHL hockey. That one fouled back to the screen. In Major League Baseball, you don't have to have played in the major leagues. There are many great managers who never played in the big leagues. In fact, the 2 world championships the Marlins have enjoyed, both managers never played a day in the big leagues, but they were minor league players and minor league managers. Jim Leland and of course Jack McKeon. That ball's hit hard and deep right field, bangs off the top of the wall, picked up there by Gillespie. Solarte is digging, and he is in there. Echeverria tried to swipe the tag, and Solarte gets under it, and he's got himself a double.
We've seen Cole Gillespie play all 3 outfield spots and play them well. This ball, one of the hardest hit balls you're going to see that doesn't go out. It's about 3/4 of the way. Gillespie plays it well. The throw just a little offline. That's why Echeverria came to try to get it and maybe put the tag on Solarte, but Solarte just got by him.
Gillespie in right tonight, and here is Kemp. for a lot of reasons. People, when asked about the Padres' chances in these last 2 months, often look at and say, if Matt Kemp can get hot, then maybe they've got a shot, which is true, but he's going to need some help. You would think behind him a Justin Upton, Yonder Alonso. I'd love to see Derek Norris get going offensively. But the fact is that the Padres are just 6.5 out, and they don't need to make up that ground in the next 30 games. If they could get to September 1st and be 3 or 4 games back in the wild card, then it's doable. And Kemp laces one into left field. Solarte kind of jogging into third. Well, he wasn't going to score anyways, but at the same point, if the left fielder, who is an infielder, that's Derek Dietrich, if Dietrich bobbles the ball, Solarte's in no position to then turn it on and score.
First of all, he pauses. There's the pause. And once he pauses, he is just saying to himself, I can only get to third. But you're right. Even with the pause, if the ball's bobbled by Dietrich, he might be able to score.
Now, I don't know if Solarte is hurt. That's another issue. But I would expect Pat Murphy may have a word with him when he gets to the dugout. So the Padres get a hit from Kemp, and now here is Upton, who swung the bat well against the Marlins in Miami, and then last night took an 0 for 4 with a walk. Boy, painful night last night for the Marlins, especially in extra innings. In the 11th, AJ Ramos ran out of gas, couldn't throw strikes. Upton sends that blast to left center, hits it deep. Yelich goes back at the track, makes the catch. Everybody tags. Kemp's going to get to second. Solarte's going to score. And the Padres have a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Padres have hit some balls very hard this inning. That a deep fly ball by Upton to bring home Solarte. And on that long fly ball, Kemp immediately went back to first base to tag up and got to second base easily.
So there's the help we talked about for Kemp. Upton following it with a 390-foot sacrifice fly. Gets him on the board. And here is Alonso. Saw his father down behind the cage at batting practice. Chance to see his son. His father was a catcher in Cuba.
His father, Luis.
Yeah. Is here. Brought the family over when he was just 10 years old. Coral Gables High School. Had a really nice career at the University of Miami. 7th overall pick in the first round of the 2008 draft by the Reds. And he hits that one down the left field line. Hits it pretty well. It's a foul ball.
You notice Urania will use that changeup a little bit more left-handed hitters. The changeup that Venable hit to left field for a fly ball out. That was a changeup there. Yeah, Alonso's also had a really nice career against the Marlins.
He and his Miami and Cincinnati and San Diego running mate Yasmani Grandal both really hurt the Marlins, especially with the Padres. Grandal, of course, now a Los Angeles Dodger,
and had a good game today.
That one's hit well to left. Dietrich backing up, and he reaches up and makes the catch. But the Padres score first off of Jose Urena. Padres on top. Well done. Miami's lineup, it's brought to you by JM Lexus. D. Gordon, Cole Gillespie, Christian Yelich. Been a great run for Yelich, helping his average to 269. Casey McGee, Martin Prado, Derek Dietrich, JT Real Muto, Danny Echeverria, and Jose Urena hits 9th. Odrisamer Despagne, the 28-year-old Cuban, faces Miami for the second time in less than a week. He beat him on Sunday, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits. Gordon, 0 for 4, a walk, a stolen base in last night's ball game. Back to the mound, Despagne flips to first in time to get the outs. Padres defense tonight brought to you by BMW.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that defense in the outfield. Justin Upton, Will Venable. Venable does a nice job in center. Matt Kemp, the right fielder. Solarte, Amarista, Jerko, and Alonso around the infield. And Derek Norris, who over the last few games offensively has been on fire. Padres about middle of the pack in the National League in defense.
Now Gillespie with Yelich to follow. Gillespie getting the start in right, came in last night, was 0 for 1. Last night was an interesting game. Yelich hit the bomb to open the scoring for the Marlins. Norris took that one off the mask. Miami up to a 2-0 lead. And then the Padres came back. A run in the third, 2 in the fourth. And that was it. That was all the scoring until the bottom of the 9th. Craig Kimbrell came in. Trade rumors around him were hot and heavy, but he went nowhere. The Padres are hot. He got the first 2 outs. And then a 1-1 heater up and in. Derek Dietrich turned it around and drove it out to right field. Gillespie dumps that into right. And that's a hit. Miami had tied the game dramatically at that point. And of course the wildness of A.J. Ramos and Andre Rienzo. And the Marlins went down 8-3 and lost it in 11.
Cole Gillespie has started 10 times in center, 8 times in right. As a starter with that base hit, his average right around 300.
Yelich takes a strike. You saw in the lineups the run that Yelich has had over his last 28 games. And for those of you that were worried about Christian Yelich, you go back to early June and you run the numbers from there. And Yelich is profiling much like he did last year, with a batting average in the upper 200s, 290 area, 360, 365 on base. And you get a sense that that back injury that he tried to play through really affected his swing. Last year, 362 on base, 284 average, 402 slugging.
Here's the thing too about Christian Yelich, Rich. 317 at home, about 230 on the road. He really needs to just embrace this ballpark, which he has because of the way he's hit here.
We talked about that last night. Of all the Marlin hitters, it seems like Yelich isn't really affected by the dimensions. Embrace, I think, is a good word, because he's a guy that a gap-to-gap line drive hitter.
Embrace this as his hitting domain.
The 1-2. And Yelich,
good changeup.
Swings through that change.
We told you if you were watching when Despagne threw against the Marlins in San Diego, he'll throw that changeup, he'll throw that fastball, his breaking ball. He'll throw them from many different arm slots, so he's not easy to pick up.
Gillespie still at first. Here's Casey McGee. What does that do to the scouting report on this guy? All the different arm angles.
Well, you could give about 12 different points, but you have to minimize it, as we usually try to do on our scouting reports.
I mean, you don't have a little chip that you can plug in that says Despagne sidearm, Despagne three-quarter, Despagne over the top.
You have the chip that you put in that says Despagne El Duque look-alike.
Two and one to McGee. Casey did not start in last night's ball game. Pulls that one foul. He had a hit on Thursday in that Max Scherzer start. Scherzer gave up only 3 hits, 2 to Yelich, 1 to McGee.
Yeah, 2 for 4 his last 4 ABs. Casey, a part of the rotation that Dan Jennings is using with Cole Gillespie, with Ichiro, with Justin Bour.
Breaking ball and a pop-up sends Alonso to the track, and he makes the catch. Despagne is through the first. San Diego, a 1-0 lead early.
Toyota.
Colombian Heritage Night in Miami, where the San Diego Padres have taken their show on the road. Right now, the show is getting nice reviews. Winners of 6 of 7, 11 of 15. Derek Norris, Jed Jerko, and Alexi Amarista against Jose Urena. So far, and it's a small sample size, 42 1/3 innings. You see Norris over from Oakland last year. Urena is a pitch to contact guy, and the key is making sure that contact is not good contact, because in 42 and a third innings, just 19 strikeouts.
He had a stretch when he was up earlier in the year of 4 consecutive starts where he went 6 or more innings. He gave up 3 earned runs or less. At New Orleans this year, 6-1 with a 266 earned run average.
And he strikes out Norris. But just like that, a strikeout to open up the second.
As if he froze Norris with the slider. There's the slider. It kind of backs up. It stays up. I think Norris probably thought it was high, but you can see he just caught the strike zone.
Now Jerko, 3 hits last night, including a 2-run single in the 11th. That was after 4 consecutive walks for Ishii.
Padres earlier this year disappointed at the way Jerko had started. He actually spent a little time in AAA.
Sophomore slump hit him last year after a 2013 year where he popped 23 homers, had 26 doubles. See the numbers last year. Those through July 31st. Padres have been a very good second half team over the last 3 seasons. And the hope is for Pat Murphy and A.J. Preller, their vice president, general manager, that continues this year. Gillespie makes a catch. Toyota trend since July 11th. They've won 11 of 15 games. Not scoring a ton of runs, but the ERA is starting to creep down. Won a lot of close games. They had that dramatic win, the rain delay comeback win against the Mets on Thursday at Citi Field. Took 2 of 3 from the Mets. Here's Amarista.
This is a guy you like to always get if you're a pitcher, and I don't mean Amarista in particular, the number 8 hitter with 2 outs. You get him, then you can start the next inning going after the pitcher. And as we documented in San Diego, Despagne, who didn't hit a whole lot in Cuba, not much of a hitter.
Up the middle, Echeverria is there and makes the play. Nicely done. 1-2-3 for Urena. Miami trailing at home 1-0. Day tomorrow. Bark at the Park, 1:10 start. Pepsi 4 for $70 4-pack will get you in. And, of course, special tickets for dogs and their owners. And it's all benefiting the Humane Society of Broward County. Fans get a Marlins All-Star poster courtesy of Franklin Dodd Communications. Marlins.com today. Here's Martin Prado. Prado, Derek Dietrich, and JT Realmuto. Drisamar Despagne. Oh! The Padres brought Despagne and another Cuban player, Almeida Diaz, shortstop, in for a tryout and a workout in 2014. San Diego ended up signing Despagne for a little over $1 million. And St. Louis ended up signing Diaz, the shortstop. One, two. Solarte with some help from Alonso. Here is Dietrich. You know, yesterday, Tommy, we were told and everybody thought that Tomas Telis, the switch hitting catcher that the Marlins received in the Sam Dyson trade, was going to join the ball club. But the Marlins, especially after last night's meltdown bullpen wise, decided to instead add an arm. And Chris Reed is up. A left-handed reliever, guy that did some starting in the minor leagues. Reed on the left, and Adam Conley is here as well.
Yeah, I think as the next 2 months unfold, we'll see Adam Conley not only out of the bullpen, but in a starting role as well. And there's a possibility on Tuesday we'll see Brad Hand start against the Mets.
Marlins have seen Conley, like him. He's had a great year. Reed is a Stanford guy, was in the Dodgers organization. Marlins traded to get him about a month ago. Not a big deal, a minor league deal. And you're right, all indications are that the first bite of the apple, so to speak, at earning that number 5 spot will go to Brad Hand.
Well, it looks like Tom Kohler on Monday against the Mets, against Bartolo Colon, possibly Hand against Jonathan Neese, and then David Phelps against Matt Harvey in that 3-game series against the Mets.
Updating other news around the Marlins, still no firm date for Marcell Ozuna. The Marlins continue to observe and monitor. Ozuna continues to hit.
And still no firm date or speculation of when he'll return for Giancarlo as well. We hope it's sooner than later.
Yeah, that's a surgery where he's at the point now where trying to break up the adhesions and the scar tissue, get to the point where swinging is manageable in terms of pain, and then you go from there and you progress from hitting in the cage where he is now against live pitching, and then a rehab assignment. Liner to center, and right there is Will Venable, and he makes the catch.
A bullet to
yes.
center off the bat of Derek Dietrich. First day of August, Rich. Marlins begin a new month tonight.
That's right. Did you get up and turn the calendar this morning? That's a lost art in this day and age of tablets and smartphones.
That's right. You ask young kids,
yeah.
Did you flip the calendar?
What are you talking about? Bouncer wide of the bag. I know it's a big night for you, Tommy. You've had this circled on your calendar. You entered it on your smartphone, and that is Salt and Pepper tonight after the game in concert.
Saw them throw out the first pitch with a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, I was going to say they can still shake it, but that is. We ask, we receive.
There they are.
That's Salt.
Oh, a strike to Billy.
And here comes Peppa.
It's hard to do in those heels, too. I've never tried it.
I know. That's a great point. She had the, it's like she had the tennis shoes on, so. Billy with the little help. Salt and Peppa. Fastball is in. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, Tommy Hutton.
What's that?
Mark Grant's coming over. You're going over to work with Dick Enberg.
You know, I consider it an honor to go over and work with the Hall of Famer, Dick Enberg, in the 4th inning. And you're considering it an honor to work with Mark Grant.
Yes. Here's a 2-2. Little tapper. Real Muto's got good wheels. Solarte. That's a major league play by Yangervis Solarte. Charging in from third. Venezuelan throws him out. The Marlins are down in order in the 2nd. Tag FL Data Strong and then tweet your strongest fan photo, and you just might see yourself on an upcoming telecast. That's a strong fan photo. That's a really strong. And they got photobombed there too with a pink phone. Now they're going to look at the photo and they're going to turn around and they go, I can't believe you photobombed. This is Despaigne. He doesn't hit much. Ah, there you go. And Despaigne swings. He finally did get a hit by the well. And Despaigne swinging and missing. There he is, the Hall of Famer on the left, and Mark Grant on the right. Mark Grant will join me, Tommy Hutt, and Dick Enberg. And I want you to count the oh my's.
I will. I may say it before he does, just to congratulate him for his Hall of Fame induction.
Will Venable, top of the order. Yangervis Solarte is on deck. Smack to center. Venable's got a hit.
Earlier, I talked about the top of the lineup. Venable and Solarte been getting on base a lot. Venable now with a 6-game hitting streak. Solarte with a 7-game hitting streak. He doubled in the first inning. Venable with 8 steals this year.
Urania gets a strike. Drive into right center field. That's trouble. It's going to get in the gap. It's going to go to the wall. Venable hasn't stopped motoring. He's going to score easily. And Solarte has got a double and a triple. And the Padres have a 2-0 lead.
You get a couple of guys at the top of your lineup that all of a sudden get in a little groove and get hot. They can do some damage. Just looked like the changeup, but it didn't get down enough and away enough. And it looked like Solarte grabbing the upper backside a little bit, the glute, maybe upper hamstring. Not much Gillespie can do. He gets it back in as quickly as possible, but Solarte with a 3-base hit. That might be more on the slide. He kind of stuck his landing. And I'll tell you what, if the tag, and I don't know if Prado had the ball in time, but if he slaps the tag right away, Solarte's out, because he didn't get to the bag and then he popped up and still hadn't gotten to the bag.
Last night he had a slide into second base that was very similar. He slid and stayed down for 20-25 seconds. It was the end of an inning. Stayed in the ball game last night.
You know, watch right here. He still isn't on the bag. He still is not. And there he is. Finally, now he comes off a little bit.
And that's probably the issue.
That's a severe blowout right there. You just don't want to have that happen on the turnpike. In this series, by the way, Venable's 4 for 8, and Solarte's 4 for 8.
Here is Kemp, who singled in the first. Infield in. Kemp takes in. Padres have banged out 4 hits. A ball and a strike. Very interesting series in Houston. The Astros sit atop the American League West, but they're playing a team that is red hot right now, and that's the Arizona Diamondbacks, who got 2 runs off of Dallas Keuchel in the first and lead it 2-1 in Houston. Arizona's 1 under at 50 and 51. So both the Diamondbacks and the Padres, who trail obviously the Giants and the Dodgers, are hot right now. They're playing much better baseball.
There were rumors
to left and deep. Dietrich track makes the catch, and another sacrifice fly chases home run number 3. Kemp put a charge into it. It didn't get out, but it's deep enough to score the run.
We saw it in San Diego. We saw a little bit of it last night. Pat Murphy has these guys doing a lot of little things. He has runners in motion. They've been able to hit the ball deep enough in sacrifice fly situations, as Kemp did right there. So they're doing those little things, and they're getting the job done. But the rumor I saw with Arizona was that they were interested in Aroldis Chapman.
Hi. Here is Upton. Into center field, a base hit. Well, Urania's not missing a lot of bats tonight. Upton, a long sacrifice fly back in the first.
And the Padres being aggressive. They've never seen Urania before. His first ever start against San Diego.
Yonder Alonso now. Alonso hit a sharp liner to left. So there have been some loud outs. And the Padres already have 3 runs here in the top of the 3rd.
We were talking earlier about Alonso's buddy, Yasmani Grandal. Nice day today. He's having a fine year with the Dodgers. Went 3 for 4, hit a home run in another Clayton Kershaw win. That was against Andrew Heaney and the Angels. Kershaw went 8 shutout innings and extended his scoreless streak now to 37 innings. So if it's not Greinke, it's Kershaw.
Andrew Heaney got the loss then.
That's his first loss this year.
3-1 Dodgers over the Angels.
I think the starter for the Dodgers tomorrow is Matt Latos.
Angels 2.5 back over the Astros right now. This was to be a Latos start here tonight. So he's pretty close to being on turn as they plug him in to the Dodger rotation.
And that happens a lot, Rich, when organizations and teams call up kids from the minor leagues, as the case with Urania. He was on track to start tonight, so that's why he got the call.
Yeah, it's not fair
at times.
At times, because if you need a hitter, you don't call up and say, "Hey, is Bob taking a night off tonight? Send me in." But with starting pitchers, you can't call a guy up who just pitched 2-3 days ago.
That's right.
Because you're not going to start him on short days rest.
And I mentioned his last start for Urania. There's the chicken. Not a good one. Just 5 innings, gave up 10 hits and 3 runs in Nashville.
Got the swinging Fryer there as well. And to right, that's a base hit. Upton doesn't stop on his way to third. At the corners, 2 outs. Chuck Hernandez on his way out to the mound. And we remind you, you can stay social at Fox Marlins on Twitter and Instagram. Get you involved behind the scenes and all of that.
Yeah, in this situation too, Rich, with the call-ups of Chris Reed, a lefty, and Adam Connolly, who can be extended a little bit, it doesn't put Dan Jennings in a spot where he has to stay with Urania maybe longer than he would think. Thus, the moves to bolster that bullpen for the game tonight.
We noted that it sounds like Brad Hand is going to get the first shot at the 5th spot in the rotation. But Justin Nicolino isn't far behind.
And I think even before September, there's a chance we'll see Justin Nicolino.
Now Norris with 2 outs. Padres with a chance to crack it open even wider here.
Last night, the Marlins bullpen went 6 innings. Distributed amongst 5 pitchers.
Royals beat the Blue Jays 7-6. It's a fascinating series with the trades that both organizations made. Troy Tulowitzki, top of that order.
Pretty good day for Zobrist.
Bouncer, it's a fair ball. And down the line it goes. Upton scores. Alonso to third. Dietrich having technical difficulties in the corner. Alonso will score. Norris into third. And the Padres do crack it open. It's 5-0. Going into the corner to retrieve a ball is not an easy task for even a seasoned outfielder.
We told you this guy's been hot. Derek Norris came into the game 7 for 9. There's the trouble. Dietrich gets right up against that wall, doesn't get the glove off enough. That's a play that has to be made, but certainly a guy learning a position is going to mess that up every once in a while. And the ball was just fair. It was a great call by Sean Barber, the third base umpire, who got turned around.
Athletic move by Sean Barber.
Yeah, it was.
Oftentimes you see an umpire get moved, spun around, and he points the wrong way. But Barber had to avoid it, spin it, Enrico Palazzo it, and then make the call. On to first in time. Jerko is out, and the Padres explode for 4 runs in the third. It's 5-0. Check in with Craig Minervini.
Hey, with all the talk about trades, I was talking to Perry Hill the other day, and the Marlins first base and infield coach and guru said, you got to talk to Lenny Harris about the time I was almost traded. I said, Perry, you didn't play in the major league. He said, no, I was a coach. So we were talking to Lenny, and Lenny said, yeah, it's true. I was a minor league hitting instructor with the Dodgers a few years back. And Lenny said the Dodgers were actually looking into getting Perry Hill. They talked to Lenny about Perry Hill. And he said, who, the coach? He said, yeah, it'd be great if you can get him. He said, well, we're thinking about trading a minor league player and try and work a deal out. He said, it's happened before. Lenny had no idea that they could do that. The trade never materialized, but it is something that they have a little fun talking about. And Perry, you know, he deserves a little accolade, doesn't he? And that's something he proudly has a big smile about. I almost got traded for, Craig, one time. Perry, wow, he's one of the best, guys.
Yeah, that's every now and then you'll hear an odd trade.
Well, there have been some instances where managers have been traded.
Chuck Tanner from the Pirates to the Athletics. Lou Piniella, right, from the Mariners to the Rays. I think Randy Winn went from Tampa Bay in exchange. I don't think it was that was compensation for signing Piniella.
Like Adam Conley getting loose.
What about, was it Russ Hodges? Who was the broadcaster?
I think it was Ernie Hartwell.
Ernie Hartwell.
He was actually involved in a trade.
Went to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was involved in a trade.
From Georgia.
Did the Marlins have to give up compensation for Ozzie Guillen?
And Rich in the 4th inning, we'll make a trade up here.
That's right.
For an inning.
That's right.
Who gets the better of the deal is the big question.
Well, that's why we have all the pundits and all of that. Trade deadline. There's cash consideration. There's future consideration. Here's Urania taking the at-bat here in the bottom of the third. Quickly, it's 0-2. Well, Despaigne is sitting in a good spot here. He's got 5 runs to work with. He's got a ball club that is really having trouble scoring. That's kind of been Miami's MO for a while. And down goes Urania.
And a team, Rich, that is having trouble scoring. You get down 5 runs early, it's a tough hill to climb, because you know in your dugout that's been your struggle.
Change up and a strike to D. Gordon. Despaigne is not shy about throwing that pitch, which I assume has got a variety of actions to it, depending on the arm angle.
Just to get back to Perry Hill and Lenny Harris, 2 guys who, first, Perry's so diligent in what he does in helping the infielders, and Lenny brings a professionalism with him, you know, to instill the young players, this is what you have to do, this is what you shouldn't do. We were talking earlier about some of the things that he tried to get across to young players when he was still a player.
Gordon holds up.
And it's nice to have coaches of that vein, but you also need teammates of that vein.
Gordon on a couple of hops. Amarista, that was close. A little bit of hesitation, almost cost him. Gordon is out. Mark Grant's coming in. Have fun with the Hall of Famer. I'll be back. All right. Padres are on top 5-0. Mark Grant, the distinguished, heavily accoladed. How are you?
Heavy's right.
I know.
Actually, it's not me. It's just a fatter Tommy Hutton. I got the glasses on.
You are one of the more colorful analysts, and to me, one of my favorite listens. As a West Coast guy who lives on the East Coast, I oftentimes watch the West Coast games. And you are a must-listen, my friend.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. It's nice to be here in South Florida. Always a pleasure to see you and Tommy.
And now that we have that out of the way, I want to show everybody your pants. Can we do that?
You know, I figure, you know, the old saying, when in Rome, when we usually go to the East Coast or down in South Florida, I like to, you know, I like to break out the Madras pants.
Awesome. Now, these are Florida pants. I like those.
Yeah, they're comfortable.
Yeah. Urena throws out to Spanier. Tell me about. All right, we're going to do this one more time.
Just wait till I buy the jacket. Yeah, Madras pants.
Nice.
Big fan.
I like it.
So, thank you. Yeah, it's always fun to come to South Florida. Love the ballpark. Love you guys. It's all good.
The Padres are surging. The Marlins saw the Padres in San Diego. Things were starting to click. You guys go into New York. Yeah. You had that incredible rain delay home run game by Justin Upton. And here you are, all of a sudden, getting a little closer in the wild card. 6.5 back to that second wild card spot.
Rich, you are a sports fan. Any sports event, any football, basketball, baseball, we've seen crazy things happen as you look at the wild card standings. And there's an old adage in baseball, and I'm sure you and Tommy have talked about it. Sometimes the best trade you make is the trade you don't make, right? And I think that's what General Manager A.J. Preller is trying to tell Pat Murphy, interim manager, and Dave Roberts on the left as you take a look at the wild card. Hey, guys, you know what? We've been together so long. A.J. made these deals in January. We went to Peoria together. We've got some continuity. We're starting to play well. Why rock the boat? And another issue is other teams inquiring about Padre players.
Yelich has it.
And you know what? They might be asking for too much, so why mess things up in the San Diego Padre clubhouse?
I'm going to be really bitter if the next inning is 1-2-3. I mean, it always seems to happen.
You want me to go run on the field?
Yeah. Cause a ruckus, will you? Florida, brought to you by Checkers. Mix and match our famous Big Buford and Big Chicken Deluxe. Get 2 for $5. Checkers, it's in the bag. By Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Price, service, selection. You're going to love us. And by the Florida Department of Transportation, reminding you to drive sober or get pulled over. 5-0 San Diego. Not my Padres. Actually, the Ted Leitner's Padres.
Very good, Rich.
Mark Grant joins us now, analyst for Fox Sports San Diego, as the Marlins come to hit here in the bottom of the fourth. Cole Gillespie, outside corner. We were talking about the Padres. To me, when you slap a team together like this with parts coming from all over and expect it in 3 months to gel and take off, you're really asking a lot. And so I like the fact that San Diego has not made wholesale changes, that they're going to let this group play together a little bit longer and see what happens.
You figure you've got them. Why not just stay with them and stick together? And it seems like this team is sticking together, not only on the field, in the clubhouse. And Rich, you know as well as anybody, we have the luxury to travel with this team. You see the chemistry in the clubhouse, guys rooting for one another, guys getting on one another in a good way, keeping them on edge. Accountability is also another big key. Believe me, Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, from the pitching staff, Andrew Castor, Tyson Ross, if these guys aren't playing up to the potential, they'll be the first ones to tell you that. No excuses. And I think that goes a long way. Jed Jerkins made tremendous strides after being recalled from the minor leagues, taking the ball the other way, coming up with some big hits.
Big night last night.
Yeah.
That was a nice win for San Diego, especially coming off the Thursday win against the Mets, which was I don't want to say miraculous, but a stirring comeback. And then to score the runs they did last night, 5 runs in the 11th, was another emotional win for a team that is just rolling right now, having won 6 of 7, 11 of 15.
That game in New York was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. After being down 7-1, grand slam Derek Norris, a bloop, a bleeder, and a blast to take the lead off the bat of Justin Upton. A lot of fun.
Here is Yelich, and he pulls a pitch. This is going way too fast. And Yelich is out. All right. What do you think of the Marlins? When you look at Miami and what's gone wrong this year, from an outsider's perspective, what do you see?
I don't think it's a team that's too far away. I think you've got some tremendous youngsters. I really like Yelich. D. Gordon, I mean, what can you say about him? We saw him in the West last year with the Dodgers. He could cause havoc on the base paths. The on-base percentage is up. Now, I know Casey McGee has been struggling this year. I don't like to see anybody struggle. The guy's proven in the past he can play, but I think some of the parts are there. I understand you've got some good arms in the minor leagues. Here's D. Gordon. You got to love having a leadoff hitter like that.
Full of life, is a great guy in the clubhouse, plays hard every night.
Dietrich turned on a Kimbrel fastball last night for that home run.
It doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, it doesn't. I like Yelich. Echeverria can pick it at short.
And obviously they miss Giancarlo Stanton. Hopeful that he's back soon. Tomorrow is, for you, an ex-Major League pitcher. Got to be an exciting day.
Really looking forward to see Jose Fernandez. 23 starts here at home, 15-0, correct?
Yes.
So he's due for a loss. Sorry, Florida Marlins fans. Or Miami Marlins. I'm still stuck with them. Did I say Florida Marlins?
You did. It's all right.
Miami Marlins.
That's all right. It happens every now and then.
No, but I'm excited to see him. And you know what? I always love stories like that, bouncing back from Tommy John surgery.
Casey McGee rolls it up the middle. Amarista to his left and gets the out. It always happens, doesn't it?
Too quick.
It's like we arrange this announcer swap, and it's a 1-2-3, 1-2-3. I know, buddy. This is Mud, one of my favorite guys. Hunt's coming back, I think. Marlins and Mets on Monday. All you can eat. KM beef franks, peanuts, popcorn, nachos, Pepsi, Aquafina, just $30. All first responders with ID get complimentary tickets on South Florida Heroes Monday, presented by Outback. Go to marlins.com. Jose Urena approaches the Padres in the 5th. Tommy Hutton has returned after a brief dalliance on Padre television.
It was brief. It was a brief appearance for Mark Grant on Fox Sports Florida, as it was for me on Fox Sports San Diego.
How many pitches total were there?
17 pitches.
Seriously? 17 pitches?
Yeah, 17 pitches.
Most of which were taken up with us admiring Mark Grant's pants.
Did you get a shot of those on camera?
Oh, yes, we did. he modeled them. Full Monty style. That one pulled foul. 0-2.
One of our favorites.
Yes.
Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. How can you not enjoy a Hall of Famer?
Did you get in an oh my?
At the very beginning, to send my congratulations to Dick.
What was on the Hall of Famer's mind?
Well, you know, oddly enough, he asked me about Carter caps and the delivery. That seems to be the going question whenever I appear somewhere else. And we discussed briefly. And then moved on to some of the Marlins' downfalls this year, and then certainly some of the talent that the ball club has.
We talked Madras pants first, and then Padres stuff. Swinging Friar things. Yelich is there, and he makes the catch. Solarte is out number 1. And then I got a big hug from Mark Grant. Did you hug Dick Enberg?
Out of respect, we shook hands.
Mud's a hugger. South Florida Honda dealers bring you Marlins live pregame. That's tomorrow. Jose is on the mound. Padres and Marlins tomorrow.
I did tell Dick Enberg that as a youngster growing up in Southern California, we had the choice of Vin Scully and the Dodgers, or we had the choice of Dick Enberg and the Angels at the time.
Matt Kemp rifles one into left. A 1-out single.
And I did mention I was more a Dodger fan, but every once in a while I'd go over to the dark side and watch or listen to a little Angels baseball.
There's another great announcer for the Angels at the time. Was it Bob Starr?
Bob Starr had a great voice.
Yes.
I believe he did the Rams too when Los Angeles had an NFL team.
We've got Kemp at first base. Upton, who was singled and has a sacrifice fly. And these are the bats that really have hurt Urena tonight. Solarte, Kemp, Upton. Throw Venable in there. Alonso. Multiple hits, though, by Solarte. A double and a triple. 2 hits by Kemp and a sacrifice fly. Upton, a sacrifice fly, a single, and a run scored. 8 hits total, 5 runs total.
I think we've seen Urena, especially in that 4th inning when he was able to get the side 1, 2, 3. We've seen him progress a little bit with his secondary pitches.
Yonder Alonso waiting on deck. Jam shot, little pop up. Gordon, outfield grass, makes the catch. This Geico Marlins moment, 2011, back when he was going by Mike Stanton. 10th inning grand slam to lead the Marlins past the Mets at Citi Field.
Just wanted to show you the little differences this level to the minor league level. Good pitch, tied him up. You got to work the ball in and out. You can't just throw, even though Urena has good stuff. And then with time, you hope he makes those adjustments, learns to just find all corners of the plate, work in and out. That last pitch, a good pitch, and you got a good hitter.
As we noted, he's not a strikeout guy, so he's not necessarily going to throw the ball by people. He doesn't have a wipeout slider, and the changeup isn't necessarily one that's a big swing and miss pitch either. But if he can stay off the barrel of the bat, he can get outs.
The interesting thing about his changeup, there's not a huge differential between the changeup and the fastball, maybe 5 or 6 miles an hour.
Alonso fouls it off. When the Marlins played the Padres in San Diego and Despaigne pitched, we had that great story of Alonso's father, who was a catcher in the Cuban League, and Despaign's father, who was a pitcher. And Alonso's dad caught Despaign's dad. Fly ball left field. Over for it is Dietrich. He's there, and he makes a running catch. And tonight, both fathers are in attendance. How about that? Nice to see the kids on their own. Despaigne in control. Cold hard fact delivered by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Despaign's name contains all the letters that also spell San Diego Padres.
Wow.
Bautista throws out Prado, and Despaigne is getting outs and quick ones.
That's actually better than a palindrome. Name that spells the same backwards and forwards.
You're sounding like Alex Trebek now.
It was my learned time with Dick Enberg,
who was the host of that old, speaking of game shows, right? Wasn't Dick Enberg the host of sports? Remember the old sports game show? Craig Minervini is the expert on game show.
Craig would know. Craig would know.
What was the name of the show that Dick Enberg hosted? The sports.
It was the Sports Challenge.
Ah,
that's right.
The great thing was the end of the show had the silhouetted player, and you had 90 seconds to guess who it was. They would reveal little details about him. Might be somebody who's real tall, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar be the answer, and this guy played UCLA and so on. It's a great show. 72 Lakers.
And as I remember, the other cool thing about the show is they would have 3 members of that team on, and it would be like if you had the Celtics from the 60s on, you'd have Havlicek and Russell, but then they would have a guy that is
Casey
like
Jones.
Yeah, the guy that wasn't so famous would make it. Like Wes Parker would be on if the Dodgers were on. If the Oakland Athletics were on, you might throw Gene Tennis in there.
That was a great game show.
Dietrich walks on 4 pitches on his way to first base with 1 out. Just the second base runner the Marlins have had all night. Maybe you, me, and Mark Grant can take the Fan Express to the game tomorrow, Tommy. We'll swing by the Padres Hotel. You can book it yourself, 305-480-2523, or email groups@marlins.com.
I'm glad I have Craig's phone number, because he would be the best to phone a friend if you, or text a friend nowadays, if you were involved in a game show trivia.
You can actually do that on game shows now.
Text somebody?
Lifeline.
Yeah, Craig would be my game show lifeline.
Are there any game shows on right now other than the ones that have been on for 30 years? Are there any new ones that... I don't have the game show network. Pitch misses outside.
Come on, you have like 900 channels.
Oh, I don't even know where that one is.
It's got to be there.
Adam Conley up. Real Muto. It's the 2-1 in the air to right. Kemp is back and under it and makes the catch. And so 2 outs. Here is Echeverria.
I think it's really interesting. We've talked about a lot of the trades over the last few days. Cole Hamels making his debut with the Texas Rangers. The ball game's in Texas, but it's an interleague matchup. He's facing San Francisco.
Oh, I think he's faced like 14 times in his career. Yeah, that is an oddity. Echeverria finds right field with a hit. Dietrich on his way to third, and he'll get there. Good hustle there. Marlins will hit for Urania now with Donovan Solano and 2 outs.
Boy, this is a beautiful approach by Danny Echeverria. Ball out on the bat. You let that get as deep as you can. Then he just shoots it through that hole for a base hit. A good base running too by Dietrich to go first to third.
Quick visit from the Padres pitching coach, Darren Balsley. Not many Colombian players in the big leagues. In fact, I think it's 14 now. for the Marlins. Who could forget Edgar Renteria? What did Joe Angel call him? The
Barranquilla baby.
All three of them.
Yeah.
Barranquilla. And it's Colombian heritage tonight, so this is a big moment here. If he gets a hit, this will really be Colombian heritage night. Spania misses outside with a fastball. D. Gordon's on deck. Miami trying to muster some offense here in the fifth. Dietrich, a walk, 2-out single by Echeverria.
Solano got an at bat last night. Hit the ball hard. Hit a one-hopper to second base.
And he shoots it into right field. That's a hit. Miami on the board. And a big night for the Marlins Colombian utility man.
Great job. The last two base hits, Echeverria and Solano. Not doing a whole lot. Pitch is up. It's easier to do on that pitch that's up. Make sure you get out of the way, Etch. And he does.
D. Gordon now. There you go. That's a nice finish. The Colombian celebration.
And the first hit for his new son as well. I believe Donovan Jr.
Gordon looking for his first hit of the series. Marlins trying to climb back in this one. Pitch is out. That Cole Hamels start is going well. Texas has 2 early runs against Chris Heston. And it's 2-0 Texas over the Giants, bottom second in the Hamels start for the Rangers. Into center field, that's a hit. Here comes Echeverria. He's going to score. And Miami has bunched some hits up with 2 outs in the fifth.
Picking up Despaigne a little bit better. Good ABs. All 3 base hits. Echeverria, Solanos, and D. Gordon. For D. Gordon, number 125 on the year. Second only to Paul Goldschmidt.
Now Gillespie, who's 1 for 2. So it's a 3-run game right now, with 2 across here in the fifth. Nationals 2-1 over the Mets, top 5. What a night for Wilmer Flores last night. Gillespie to right, Kemp is over, and he has it. And the Marlins inning over, but a 2-out rally yields a pair of runs. It's 5-2 now. Adam Conley getting loose, and you can get loose for half price on Tuesday. Marlins and Mets, Half Price Tuesday, brought to you by the Miami Herald. This Tuesday, 7:10, half price Lexus Legends Platinum tickets. Great discounts on tickets in several other categories. Go to marlins.com. And Curtis Granderson in that shot. Love and life. The Mets are feeling good about themselves right now. They should. They're 53 and 50 are those Mets.
Boy, look at Adam Conley. We saw Conley make his Major League debut in Toronto. Out of the bullpen, joined the club through an inning, but has put together really nice numbers in New Orleans. 9-3 with a .252 earned run average. He also made his first career start and picked up the win in Cincinnati.
Derek Norris, first out of the chute to face Conley. Jerko Alexi Amarista. And a strike. Norris struck out. He hit the double down the left field line that Dietrich mishandled. Norris got 1 RBI. And the second run, Yonder Alonso scored when the ball squirted by Dietrich in the corner. Sends that one to right center. Gillespie cuts off the route and closes the angle and makes the catch.
Good job by Gillespie. To refresh you on Adam Conley, fastball not overpowering, but a good changeup go along with a fastball in the low 90s. He'll throw a kind of a slurvy, curvy slider.
Now Jerko, the hottest team in the National League East, actually might be the hottest team in the National League. They're at it again tonight, Tommy. The Phillies are beating the Braves 6-2, bottom 5. That's amazing. They've obviously subtracted some big names. Papelbon, Hamill's gone.
One of the lone survivors, Ryan Howard.
They've won 8 of their last 10. 11-2 since the break. So 11 of their last 13 they've won. And they have a nice lead tonight at home. Jerko swings and misses. He's 0 for 2. He's flied out and bounced out.
So you look at that Phillies lineup. Chooch is still there. He's not catching tonight, though. Cameron Rupp has a home run and 3 RBIs. They brought Dominic Brown back. He's doing a little bit better. And Howard has been rejuvenated. Ryan Howard 3 for 3 tonight.
He's the type of guy, Tommy, that can really be moved in August.
Yes, perfect example.
Because his contract is so, I don't want to say toxic, but expensive, that not a lot of teams are going to claim him. And I don't think anybody's going to claim him unless a team really wants him. And you never know. There might be a team, they see him hit, they need some left-handed pop.
Especially if you're an American League team and you can slide him in that DH spot.
Conley's 2-2. Jerko hit. And he'll take his base.
Tried to come in, ball just kept running in. Looked like it got him on the shin. Ouch.
As promised earlier in the game, we said, hey, hashtag get FL data strong, and maybe we'll show you. There you go, KD. That's a good look. Old school, little new school.
Yeah, the start that Adam Conley had in Cincinnati was 14-3 Marlins win. Those have been far and few between, unfortunately.
One of the great moments happened before the game, about 2 hours before the game, when was it he and Anthony DeSclafani took a photo together?
They matched up against each other in that game.
Former minor league roommates.
Good friends.
Yeah. Yeah, they were roommates.
But Conley went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, a couple of runs in that game. Been a rough stretch for Alexei Amarista. 0 for his last 23.
That is one hole that I think Padre fans were quietly hoping the Padres could address at the trading deadline. Inside corner. But it's hard to address a hole if you're not moving any of your current roster. The Padres did not.
Boy, this is a good fastball. Freezes Amarista. Perfect pitch. Catches the inside corner. And a great pitch if you're leaning and thinking breaking ball away.
Spanier.
You watch Conley, very fluid, very easy delivery.
It's a good college pitcher.
24 years old.
Trying to put away Despaigne on a hop for Prado, who gets the outs. Adam Conley comes in, works a clean 6th. Christian Yelich. Miami within 3, down 5-2 in the 6th. night here at Marlins Park. And even in Colombia, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Marlins, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. The Colombian fans who are here tonight, thrilled to see Donovan Solano, Marlins Colombian utility man, come in and get a pinch hit RBI single. Christian Yelich, Casey McGee, Martin Prado against España. This is away with a fastball. Really a first bump in the road for España in the 5th. 3 hits, all in a row, all with 2 outs. Produced 2 runs. That one catches a corner. With each arm angle, there seems to be unique movement to each pitch. That one had a little more run to it.
We have to wonder if he'll change things up a little bit. The fact that he gave up a couple of runs last inning.
Jerko gets the out.
We had talked, Rich, earlier about España and some similarities to another Cuban pitcher, very successful, El Duque. See the leg kick? And what that does, that hides the ball really well, too. So even though he might not be throwing 98 miles an hour, hard to pick up, different angles. And El Duque, who makes his home here in Miami, we spot him around every once in a while.
Now McGee. To right, hit pretty well. Kemp goes back, squares up, and makes a catch on the track.
Ran into El Duque and Levon, his brother, Levon Hernandez, at a Major League Baseball alumni golf tournament in Miami. Levon, quite a golfer. You don't want him on the golf course. If you do, you have to make sure you get strokes. Very good.
Martin Prado now. That Cole Hamels start now favors the Giants. 3-2 San Francisco in the 3rd. Hamels starting for the Rangers tonight. Nationals 2-1 over the Mets in the 6th. Marlins and Mets here Monday night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Marlins and Mets.
That's Hamels' first start after the no-hitter, too.
I think he's the first pitcher ever to throw a no-hitter and make his next start for another team in the same season. Or for a different team in the same season.
I think so. I would agree.
If Hamels finishes his contract as a Ranger, which is another 4, possibly 5 years, you could look at his body of work. If he's successful there, you can look at the body of work, and you have to take into account where he's pitched half of his games. Half his games in Philly, half his games at the ballpark in Arlington.
A tremendous postseason body of work to this point as well.
Rangers would love another crack at that after getting so close, losing in 2 World Series in the span of 3 years. Two. Caught there by Alonso. He steps on the bag. Marlins down in order in the 6th, 7th inning coming up. Odrisamer Despagne is beating Miami 5-2.
This is his third stint now in the major leagues, and those first two stints really have helped him a lot.
I mean, this feels like another day at the park, you know, so it's awesome. I'm excited to be here, grateful for the Marlins for another opportunity up here. I just want to keep embracing them as many as I get or as long as I'm here, and just go from there, try and get better. Stadium's bigger, louder, you know, that kind of thing. Little conveniences of life, you know, are easier, but other than that, it's, you know, it's pretty much.
Adam had 18 starts in New Orleans. He had quite a year going at AAA, where he was 9-3 with a 2.52. He won his only start, as you guys mentioned earlier, in the major leagues, and probably project more like a starter for the Marlins. But for now, he'll take this role, and maybe we'll see him as a starter later this season.
All right, thank you, Craig. Conley has that one roll up his arm, captures it, throws to first in time. We were talking about Conley and Cincinnati, and we got ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we did. We did.
We got our lefties mixed up. Justin Nicolino was the lefty. Of course, he had the great game in Cincinnati.
Nicolino in his game against the Reds, 7 innings with 4 hits and no runs to beat his good pal Anthony DeSclafani.
Our crack staff was quick to jump on that one. Thank you, Andy.
You know, when you have talented left-handers, it's hard to sort them out when you don't see them on a day in and day out basis. But these two are both talented, and I'm sure down the road, as we mentioned, we'll see Justin Nicolino as well.
And when Conley faces Cincinnati, we'll make sure that he gets a picture with DeSclafani as well.
I think we talked about it at the time. Conley, even though primarily a starting pitcher, likes to work out of the stretch with nobody on base.
Ervis Solarte. Not a real big guy, though not a tiny young Ervis.
Good changeup.
That's Gordon who makes the catch. Lexus Pembroke Pines reminds you 12:30 for Marlins Live tomorrow. Mets, 6:30, 6:30 across the board. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On to Atlanta, 4-game series. The Braves have scuffled of late. Red Sox are headed here, and the Marlins hit the road into St. Louis. They'll follow that with a trip into Milwaukee.
Braves have continue to retool a little bit. Cameron Maybin has kind of sparked his career a little bit with Atlanta. Freddie Freeman back. Was on the disabled list, first time in his career for quite a while.
We've been talking about Jose Fernandez and his start tomorrow. It's James Shields on the mound for San Diego.
Going to be a great matchup. Shields, a solid pitcher. Seemed like he always pitched well. 6-2 in his career against the Marlins. Saw him all the time when he was a Ray.
We'll have Wayne Rosenthal joining us during the telecast. Talk about that pitching matchup. He knows a thing or two about pitchers.
I think the interesting story, we'll tell you more about it tomorrow with Shields. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in the 16th round and responsible for that draft pick. Marlins manager Dan Jennings, who at the time was working in the Tampa Bay front office. So he knows a thing or two about James Shields.
Matt Kemp steps out. Shields was a piece that some thought was headed in a different direction. 8-4, 3.77 ERA. Jose tries to continue that incredible run here at Marlins Park. Prado cuts it off and gets the outs. Adam Conley has looked sharp in relief of Jose Urena. Jose Fernandez takes aim at San Diego. 12:30 for Marlins Live. The run at Marlins Park, historic. 23 consecutive starts. The Marlins are actually 20-3 in those starts, without a loss here at home. As we pointed out, big game James Shields.
Yeah, pretty good pitcher in his own right.
Adam Conley has had 2 nice innings in relief for Miami. Odrisamer Despaigne getting Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto, and Adeiny Echeverria. Who was the first big game, James? Was it James Worthy?
James Worthy. And there's some connection there to the story of James Shields taking that a little bit, and it really wasn't him that gave himself that name.
It was Kareem.
That was Michael Cooper.
Nice.
You like that one?
I do. Great defender.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, and that's going to be Dietrich at first base easily. That's every catcher's worst nightmare, is a ball that just pops up on a swinging third strike.
The more Derek Dietrich is here, he's going to have to make adjustments to that pitch. We've seen Justin Bour a little bit make adjustments. Norris didn't really shift over. He tried to backhand that big curveball in the dirt. Didn't get it. Despaigne gets the strikeout, but a wild pitch allowing Dietrich to get to first base.
Now Realmuto. It's bounced out, flied out. Despaigne threw 6. Five strikeouts, 4 hits, a couple runs. That Nationals-Mets game is a Jacob deGrom-Joe Ross matchup. Ross right now has struck out 6 for the Nationals, giving up a run on 2 hits. deGrom 2 runs, 6 hits. Tyson Ross, his brother, pitcher for the Padres. And Realmuto reaches out and lifts it into left field. Just a soft little line drive. Stayed on the breaking ball.
You know, you stay back enough, and then you just use your hands. That little soft serve line drive is a thing of beauty as a hitter. There's the slow breaking ball. Hands are back, and just enough to flick it past the shortstop, Amarista.
It's all right. All those line drives that end up in guys' gloves.
Realmuto has hit a lot of.
He leads the club in something that the coaching staff charged, and it's hard hit outs. Pat Murphy out to talk to Despaigne. It looks like a little bit of interpretation help there from Alonso as well. So the Marlins have something going. Now remember that third strike that Norris couldn't block. That has opened the door. First and second, nobody out. Miami getting into San Diego's bullpen as Kendall Toyota called to the pen. nobody out in the 7th. Odrisamer Despaigne is out. Sean Kelly takes over for San Diego. Marlins saw this right-hander in San Diego. He's been really good since mid-May.
Yeah, we talked about it at the time. Spent some time with Seattle, some time with the Yankees back in 13 and 14.
Derek Dietrich in second. JT Realmuto at first. Justin Bour is on deck. Echeverria fouls it off. Danny Echeverria's bounced to short, singled, and scored.
Talking about guys coming out of the bullpen. I think you saw a lot of that at the trading deadline. A lot of teams trying to bolster their bullpens. Of course, the Cardinals picking up Steve Cishek and also trading for Jonathan Broxton.
Echeverria could not hold up. To center, hit it well. Venable back, looking up, reaching, makes the catch. Tagging is Dietrich, on his way to third, around third, holds there. Wow, Echeverria just blasted one. Venable can go get him as well as any center fielder. We saw it last night, that great catch he made in San Francisco.
Yeah, we talked about his athletic ability. This ball driven a long way. He turns, puts his head down and picks it up right on the warning track. Great job by Dietrich, who really motored around third. I mean, he tagged up, went from second to third, but he went there as if maybe he would even score. So you like to see a runner do that.
Venable. Yeah, running that back cut offense at Princeton was tough. Covering center field in this ballpark can be tough. You got to go a long ways.
As soon as Justin Bour was announced, Zipchinski, the left-hander, called in by Pat Murphy.
Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Chinsky loosening up for San Diego, and the Mets arriving on Monday. 3-game set on Wednesday. Kids eat free. 7:10 start. 12 and under, and a ticket gets you a coupon for a free KMB Frank bag of Frito-Lay chips, small Pepsi, and Aquafina water. Get your tickets for Kids Eat Free Wednesday at Marlins.com.
Had a great shot. That youngster warming up the way Zepchinski was warming up. As soon as Bohr was announced, Murphy had the left-hander going as well. Then he made the move.
Zipchinski misses out.
Just 22 at bats for Justin Bohr against left-handers. 5 for 22.
Bohr, a big hopper out to short. Amarista gets an out, and no out at first. Dietrich will score, and Miami cuts it to 2. Jed Jerko kind of got tied up at the bag. That's a tough one for Amarista. Almost kind of in between hops.
Well, look how far Jerko's playing over because of the big left-hander at the plate. So he has a long way to go to get that feed, and tough to turn 2 there, but credit to Justin Bohr making contact, picking up the RBI, and getting Dietrich in from third.
Now D. Gordon with Bohr at first. So it's a 5-3 ball game. Zipchinski underhand flip in time to get Gordon. Miami has to settle for a run. 7 innings have passed. Padres by 2.
Padres were able to jump on Jose Urena first inning. Sac fly by Justin Upton, deep enough to score Solarte. In the 3rd inning, they opened up a little bit. A triple by Solarte extends his hitting streak 7 games. Venable comes in to score. Another sac fly, this time by Matt Kemp. That made it 3-0. Big hit by Derek Norris. 2-base hit. And then an error in that left field corner. 2 more runs came in to score. Marlins were able to get one in the 5th inning. Donovan Solano, Columbia Heritage Night, picks up the base hit and RBI. D. Gordon sends one up the middle. Marlins snuck back, got 2 runs right there. Picked up a 3rd run in the 7th inning on Justin Bohr's ground ball. Fielder's choice, RBI, 5-3. That's the score. Now we're going to get to see a major league debut of Chris Reed.
Yeah, not many major league players were born in London. That's where Chris Reed was born. He pitched at Stanford High School, at Cleveland High School in Reseda, I believe. Maybe not. I think Steve Kerr was in that area. I'm not sure if that was the same high school.
Yeah, the Marlins acquired Reed, in a minor deal, mid-July, for Grant Dayton. But all of his time in the Dodger organization, in the minor leagues, pretty good numbers.
He's a great pitcher for Stanford, all conference there. An ERA of under 1. Justin Upton pulls it foul, and certainly he fills a void, which figured in last night's ball game. When you think about it, the Marlins, remember, asked A.J. Ramos to come out and pitch a second inning, and a lot of that was due to the fact that they were down a reliever and down a couple starters, so they were lacking arms in the pen. Sam Dyson was traded to the Rangers earlier in the day. Drive to right. Gillespie is there, and he makes the catch.
Well, there was another reason. That was certainly one of the reasons, because the bullpen was short. But remember, A.J. in the 10th inning threw 11 pitches, was as sharp as we've seen. Dan Jennings, Chuck Hernandez both said, you know, had that pitch count been 18-19 in that area, he probably wouldn't have gone back out there.
Bouncer to second. Gordon gets it. Nicely done. 2 quick outs. His major league debut. Chris Reed. In baseball bloodlines, for his high school in Reseda, Brett Saberhagen.
Oh, yeah. Former Cy Young winner. Royals. World Series hero.
So Reed, a Dodger up until this year. Dodger farmhand.
But the Phillies, Rich, have opened up that game against Atlanta 12-2 now in the 7th inning. Philadelphia against the Braves. Hey!
Five runs, 8 hits for San Diego. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Marlins. Chris Reed. Right back to him, and Reed, in his major league debut, goes 1-2-3 through the Padres. Nicely done for the lefty out of Stanford. Concludes with the suddenly hot Mets. Yoenis Cespedes arrives in center field, no less. Cespedes is going to be played. How about that for a Major League debut? Chris Reed comes in. He goes 1-2-3. The Marlins down a couple here in the 8th. Get Joaquin Benoit, possibly the back end of the bullpen, maybe another Craig Kimbrell sighting.
Actually, Cespedes playing left field tonight. They have Granderson in center field.
Terry Collins today said he was going to put Cespedes in center. That after talking to him about where he wanted to play, Cespedes says he likes center field.
And that helps. If he likes it, that helps the Mets align their outfield.
Here's Cole Gillespie. Remember, Cespedes moved to left field because Coco Crisp was not comfortable in left field and was slumping. And when Cespedes went there at the request of Bob Melvin, all of a sudden Coco Crisp got real comfortable and the A's started rolling.
That's a good ball game going up Citi Field tonight. 2-2 Mets and Nationals. Lucas Duda, 2 solo home runs for the Mets.
Will pop, and Amarista runs it down. Gillespie is the first out of the 8th.
We saw that home run. This is a good play as you watch Amarista struggling at the plate, but not affecting his defense. Talked about the long home run off the bat of Christian Yelich. There are only 3 left-handed hitters that have hit longer home runs here at Marlins Park.
I know one of them is sleepless in Seattle now, right?
That's right, Lomo. Logan Morrison, 467 feet. Back in 2013, and he hit it. He hit it off of Dan Herron. How about the symmetry in that? The next longest was Juan Francisco, 459. Off Alex Sanabia. Justin Bohr, 3rd on that list, 452 against Doug Fister. And of course, last night, Yelich's 444.
One and 2 to Yelich. Bounced out twice to the right side and struck out. Change up from Benoit.
Now this is the combination that the Padres used last night. Benoit then to Kimbrell, and it's against Kimbrell that Dietrich hit that game-tying home run.
Well, if Benoit can get through this inning facing 3 or 4 hitters, Dietrich would come up in the 9th if that were a Kimbrell inning. Yelich, a couple strikeouts. Here comes Casey McKee.
Change up, tailing away. It's a tough pitch.
Little tapper. Solarte covers a lot of ground and gets the out. And Benoit, a quick 8. The 9th arrives. San Diego's up 5-3. scoreless inning under his belt. They get another one here. Into the ninth. Salt and pepper in concert afterwards on a Colombian Heritage Night. Don't poke your sister's eye out with that. Careful.
You can poke your eye out, kid.
Jed Jerko. And Jerko sends one into center field for a hit. Craig Kimbrell in the bullpen, right up next to the Clevelander. Derek Dietrich turning around and seeing Kimbrell warming up. Of course, it was Dietrich who homered against him to tie the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth last night.
Andrew Kashner pinch running for Jerko.
How about that?
Thought you were going to say Derek Dietrich, who has been in the infield, second base, third base. Turned around and realized that Clevelander was a lot closer than it used to be.
I may be wrong. I think he was looking at Kimbrell, but he might have been looking at the Clevelander.
I'm sure he was looking at Kimbrell.
There's the bunt. Reed goes to first to get the out. Amarista. Successful sacrifice. Kashner now at second all season long. MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. And certainly you got to have it going into September and obviously for October, right? Live look-ins, in-game highlights, pitch tracking widget, radio broadcast, StatCast, and all that. MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. This is Clint Barmas.
First time we've seen Barmas in this series.
Pops that one up. Should be playable. Prado. Nice out to get. If you're Chris Reed. They'll light that spaceship up out center field. Checkers brings you Marlins Live. Jeff Conine, Craig Minervini. The new arms and Adam Conley.
That's been good to see.
Chris Reed. They have 3 2/3 innings of shutout relief so far. Venable, Kashner at second. And nice job by Reed to cut it off, get the out at first. So 2 scoreless from Reed, 2 scoreless from Conley. Miami, though, needs 2. Kimbrell coming on in the ninth. South Florida Honda dealers. In Miami tonight, Craig Kimbrell gets back up on the horse. 5-3, Padres on top. It was a 1-run lead last night, and he got the first 2 outs of the inning, getting Justin Bour and Martin Prado. And then this happened, and it doesn't happen often at Craig Kimbrell. A 1-1 pitch up and in, not a bad place to pitch Derek Dietrich. And he homers second tank right field.
5th home run that Kimbrell has allowed this year, a little over 40 innings. Cliff Barmas, who pinch hit, stays in the game at short. Amarista moves over to second. So Kimbrell hitting in Jerko's spot.
Prado a liner, and that finds Amarista.
There's an experienced hitter. We talked about it last night. Prado at one time a teammate with Kimbrell. Saw him close out games all the time. Probably saw him throw that first pitch fastball all the time. So Prado went up there, good stroke at the first pitch, just hit it right at the second baseman.
Now Dietrich. He's lined out, walked, struck out, but he reached on a wild pitch, and that's the 7th inning. His fastball misses away. To an 0.
See what Dietrich gets on this 2-0 pitch.
Fastball, and he tried to lift it. It's 2-1. Another tough night for the Marlin Bats. Just 5 hits, 3 runs.
Yeah, and you look at the way the runs and everything have transpired. The Marlins just haven't had a lot of opportunities because they are 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
And the 4 hitters, 3 through 6, do not have a hit tonight. At the knees. Padres shift. Brings Solarte over. Leaves Barmas at short. 3-2 coming.
If you just go back over the last 4 games, the last 2 against the Nationals, first 2 against the Padres, Marlins have just 18 hits in the 4 games.
Dietrich smacks it hard. Amarista gets the out.
You talk about 2 hard hit balls. Prado's line drive out, and this one hopper might have been hit harder than the line drive. Absolute shot by Dietrich, but a nice pick by Amarista.
Now Real Muto. If the Padres win this game and get a little closer and a little closer and actually get into that wild card race within 3 games. They can thank the Marlins. Just remember, San Diego teetering on should we sell or should we hold. Took 3 of 4 from Miami in San Diego. Continued to play well, taking 2 of 3 for the Mets in New York. Won here last night and are on the verge of winning tonight. As 1-2.
In the case of the Padres, that's called timing.
Padres 6.5 behind the second wild card team. That's San Francisco. San Francisco facing Cole Hamels and the Rangers tonight in a tight one in Arlington. It's 3-3 in the 6th. So they need some help from a San Diego native in Cole Hamels. 1-2 from Kimbrel. Outside corner. Real Muto didn't like it. Craig Kimbrel bounces back from a blown save last night. And he got a little help there. He saves it tonight. And the Padres continue their surge. 7 of 8. 12 of 16. And San Diego is just 2 under at 51 and 53. They've taken the first 2 of this weekend set here in Miami. Not even salt and pepper could change the Marlins' fortunes tonight, as the Padres get a nice start from Odrisamer Despaigne. Some big hits from Yang Ervis, Solarte, and Derek Norris. Marlins Live is coming up. Pronunciation guide provided.